Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you get updated on all the upcoming videos. This is a commission that I was hired for last year before Christmas time. Somebody's beloved pet. And it's a real honor to be able to immortalize, if you will, somebody's adorable little puppy here. I was really happy with how it turned out, but there were some bumps and bruises along the way, and that's what I'm going to show you here. So you can see that I am blocking out the dog's face, and then just getting an idea of where I want the highlights and the shadows. So right now, a little bit scary, although I do like my blending technique. I thought it looked very Renaissance-y, you know? So here I am essentially blocking out the eyes as well, making them darker, just so I have an idea of where the placement needs to be, how big it needs to be, and then I'll go in and do some touch-ups later on. A lot of times with painting like this, you will have to go back and forth and cover up some of your work and then paint it back on in a different place. And that's really just the name of the game until you get it right. So the problem was that this dog did not look like the dog it needed to be. It was some kind of demon dog, and I needed to fix that. What is it? What is it? Is it a giraffe? Is it a giraffe? Is it a giraffe? Is it deranged? What's wrong with its face? What is it? 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 I had to go right back over all of the work that I had just done and figure out what was wrong. You know, you can look at something and you can see that it's just not right, but you have to figure out how to fix it and what exactly it is that isn't right. And for this picture, it was the snout and the nose. And that totally sucks, especially when you spend hours and the shading might be just right, but the color is so off. And so I needed to go back in and I needed to lift the snout, I needed to elongate the snout, raise the nose, and then I had to fix a portion of the right lip so that it protruded more. Then I had to go back down where the teeth were, and I had to slide those over as well, covering them up maybe 2 or 3 times before I got it just right. But that's just how it is sometimes. And I'm glad that I didn't give up, partially because, well, I was being paid for this job and I needed it, so that was one reason I couldn't give up. The other reason I'm glad that I didn't give up is because the results I was very proud of and were totally worth the effort. Now it's important to note this is what I'm painting. This is what I was given. We started with this, now we have this. Remember, we had this, and now we have this. Big difference there. And we're just going to pause it right here. So what had happened is that I was given the picture of the darker colored dog, and I went off with that. Later on, I received the lighter colored dog. And they're actually both the same dog, but I forgot to press for more information. And so I had to convert the dark dog into the lighter dog. And that was not the fault of my client. That was completely my fault. I should have been more thorough with my questioning. So if you're ever doing a commission job, no question is unimportant. For real. Okay, unpause. What was difficult about this painting too was converting the color. Because the original dog picture was in the dark. It wasn't very well lit picture. And so it looked like the dog was a lot more brown and white, really. Black, white, brown, something like this. And then when I saw from the other picture, the well-lit picture, that the dog was more of these blonde tones, that made it really difficult to know if I was on track with the actual pose desired for the dog. Because you're looking at it and thinking, okay, this looks good, but does it look right? And so I had to get a couple of people to look at it for me, just to be sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. So now that I've got quite a bit of the essentials taken care of, I'm going in and I'm dabbing to create kind of a fluffy, furry look. I wanted some texture. I didn't want it just to be a flat surface. The other thing about this dog was that it had a collar in the original picture, and I thought it would have been really nice to omit the collar and just have a dog au naturel. However, when I did that, as you can see here, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just looked a little bit too, I don't know, come hither for a dog. And so later on you'll see that I added the collar, and I'm really glad that I did. There was just something about it that was too bare. That contrast was needed with the light colored fur. This dog has kind of sad eyes. She has a little bit of dark circles underneath, and so I was trying to make sure that I got that and captured that, because that seemed to be an important feature with the dog. And the devil is in the details, even these little white strokes. And what's great is you can just kind of smudge them out so they're faded in some areas, and it just worked out really perfect. I've painted dogs before, but this was my first time being commissioned to try to capture the character and the personality of somebody else's beloved pet, and that's a huge responsibility, and I'm glad for the challenge. Okay, here I had to adjust the background. That was probably the hardest part and the most frustrating part that I had with this background, because before I fixed it, it looked too much like a meme. So I decided to go over it with the airbrush and touch it up, and to make sure I didn't paint over the dog was really excruciatingly difficult. Here you can see I've added the collar, and what a difference that makes to the painting. Now I'm just working on some final touch-ups, and now the grand reveal. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.